And we should be live. Welcome back, everyone, to another Dangerous Rhetoric live stream. My camera is a little weird.
You didn't number this one in the title.
I forgot. I think this is 9 or 10.
I think it's 10.
Yeah, what's one of them.
I think it's 10.
But today we are here to announce and celebrate the first Detrans Awareness Day coming up. It's on
the second.
Sunday. Second? It's the second.
Yeah, the second. Yeah.
Second.
This is number 11, actually. Live
No,
stream.
okay, number 11 live stream, but this is the second annual Detrans Awareness Day.
We're not counting your Hogwarts.
On March 12th. We're not counting Hogwarts. That's fine.
That doesn't count.
That's fine. So coming up on this Sunday, and I can show you guys the website here for Detrans Awareness Day. Right here, it's very cute. It's where Laura did the little lizard from the thumbnail. And we have hashtag I'm Detrans. You can tweet that out. Tweet out the live stream. Get it going because we want people to hear about Detrans Awareness Day because it's very important people hear Detrans stories so we can prevent kids from doing things that.
So did Abel found this organization?
Abel, this is you, right?
That's me, but I didn't found it.
Okay.
It's cool. I like all these
You're
pictures.
like on the homepage.
The website is amazing. Yeah, you're like right here, dude.
Yeah, actually, I want to start off this chat by getting to know more about Abel. Well, we'll introduce a bit first. Everyone who watches us should know Laura Becker by now and her famous rats. Laura's been on the show twice, and she's been on a couple live streams as well, and she's become a good friend of ours. We love Laura. She's quirky and creative and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
She's depressed, but we're all depressed. It's okay.
Buy her.
I am.
Working through it.
Laura, I have your stickers. Where are your stickers?
The ones where the QR code was not working. I'm so upset.
Is that what that package was earlier?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird that they arrived today.
Hey,
No,
Laura,
no, this
you like
is-
my
oh, I
hat?
thought-
Oh yeah, Abel's got the hat. He's got my hat design.
Hey,
The Detrans Awareness,
Doing
the
some-
bold.
product placement right now.
Yes, these are the acceptance stickers that I need to actually refine because there's a QR code that is supposed to link to an essay. So these are supposed to appeal to maybe gender confused youth, particularly girls. And so they kind of have the alien on them to represent feeling alienated, and a lot of autistic people and youth identify with that feeling. So the QR code links to an essay I wrote called The Archetypal FTM, How Personality is Confused with Gender Identity. So these girls, if someone sees this sticker, they might, want to learn more about acceptance and related to gender, but it gives an alternative viewpoint to the traditional affirmation of being born in the wrong body or needing to transition. This essay is all about acceptance and understanding how personality can be confused with being quirky, sensitive, artistic, and weird. So
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I was all those things. So
Yeah.
I was a weird kid too.
I was definitely a weird kid.
I went through my goth phase, and then I had a candy raver phase.
I'd like to see that.
Oh, I'll have to dig up some pictures for you.
Oh dear.
No, I'm curious.
They're on the old hard drive, actually. I think you have.
You and those damn red pants.
Yo, I
Abel,
love my
did you
red
go through
UFOs.
From the
an aesthetic?
Oh no, what happened to Abel?
My roommate called me.
Oh,
But you
went
didn't
black
photo.
there.
Yeah,
Did you
yeah,
go-
the computer didn't want to work, so I'm using my phone.
Hey,
Yeah, it still looks good.
Yeah, the camera sounds good.
All right, I'm going to throw the ball to Abel, actually, because Abel has not been on the show in any formal episode and has never
Yes, let
been
Abel talk.
in any of our live streams. And I don't know much about Abel, so I want to learn a little more about Abel and Abel's story. So what's your shtick, man? Like, so you're in Texas right now, correct?
Yeah, I live in Texas now. I transitioned in California back in
Okay.
2016. I was only 19 when I transitioned, and
As
to
well.
make my story a long story short, I was immediately affirmed as transgender on my first appointment. Given my letter to start transition, but luckily didn't accept it. That same appointment. Didn't realize eventually, but I had trauma that actually was the reason to transition, and that was my father taking me to prostitute in Mexico with $100. Let me see. Like I said, I didn't realize that was the main reason I wanted to transition until a couple years back. I nearly went the entire route, but something, I guess I could say, either the voice of God, the voice in the back of my head, or just something kept me from going all the way through, which I guess now is a good thing.
So when did you start to, like, I guess, have symptoms of dysphoria? We'll word it that way.
So I've always been, I haven't been the most masculine kid growing up, and that's been since a little kid. It also doesn't help the fact that culturally I'm Mexican, and my culture is very masculine, very machismo, and
Oh yeah, they love boxing over there.
yeah, so I'm not the most masculine. So, or I wasn't the most masculine growing up.
Which is normal for little boys. You know, boys tend to be somewhat androgynous, generally speaking, until, you know, around puberty. They can be a little more rambunctious and aggressive than girls, and they have, you know, tend to be more boy interested. But generally speaking, there's you know, children are naturally androgynous, and I feel like the queer ideologues tend to prey on that fact and exploit it. You know, like a little boy like wearing a tutu or something, and all of a sudden, you know, he's trans. It's like, guys.
Yeah, no, absurd. So you said around 19 you started the process, but you didn't go all the way. How far did you get into that? Like, were you on cross-sex hormones, or?
Yes, so I took estrogen. I took spironolactone, which is a testosterone
inhibitor
blocker. Turns out from other medical professionals who I've had the opportunity to speak since detransitioning, that is not what it's used for. It's actually heart. It's something for the heart. That's its primary use. So
I took it for acne when I was younger.
Interesting.
They prescribed that to you for acne? Interesting.
Yeah, spironolactone, because it inhibits testosterone. So if you have like a lot of oil and,
Gotcha.
you know, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I've been breaking out my.
So they had you on Spiro and
working out.
estrogen, and how did that go, and what happened? How did that go for you? Like, did you have changes, or?
Yeah, my body changed, developed breasts. I know my skin changed. I didn't have the most facial hair, which is surprising if you look at me now. Well, compared to what I used to have. That, and I just cleaned up right now.
Yeah, you look good.
Flattering. Yeah, you look good. How long were you on these drugs?
I started November of 2016 for estrogen. Spironolactone, I don't remember. But I stopped spironolactone in February of 2018. And I officially stopped cold turkey with the estrogen in April of 2019.
Okay, so a couple years.
Yeah.
And did you know, like, were there changes in your voice? Because I know that's one of the first things that you start to, like, notice that in.
Estrogen actually doesn't affect the voice.
Yeah, I think it only goes the other way.
Yeah, testosterone.
Yeah.
Testosterone will change the voice in a woman. Estrogen will not change the voice in a man.
So how does Blair sound so, like, feminine?
Practice.
Blair White practices. It's a lot of personal work. That's what I did. I had to work on it myself.
Like, I mean, I can sound a little girly if I want to.
Oh my God, Brent.
No. I mean, I can.
It's not very.
But yeah, so like it's more of the vocal. You have to work on your own vocals and just how you do it. Those who sing would understand what I'm trying to say.
interesting. I don't know. That sounds kind of exhausting, though. You'd have
Did
to,
you
like,
notice? I wanted to ask,
about it all the time.
Abel, did you notice any like mental health impacts from the Spiro or the estrogen? Did it like, make things better or worse? Like, what was your experience?
I want to say, as long as I was within the community, it was good. Just because I was also love bombed and affirmed.
Mm. So you're getting a lot of that. I mean, so that could even be a bit of a placebo effect. Like it's hard to tell what the drugs are doing because you're not getting that. You're not getting them in isolation. At the same time, you're getting that love bomb and that affirmation from everyone around you. And so it just kind of just it really does affirm the whole process.
Yeah, I didn't really look at any potential negative side effects until after I had started to detransition and was looking at everything with a more clearer mind.
What led you to that decision?
To detransition?
Mm-hmm.
So let me give back a little backstory because it's gonna sound confusing at first. But so about I want to say within a year after I started my transition, I actually went to the police academy to try to become a cop. Trying to become obviously female at the time cop. Everything went well. Eventually, I failed the academy, but even though I failed, I got the attention of the chief of police for the department I wanted to work with, and I was working as a volunteer for one of his boards as the representative for the LGBT community. Didn't realize it then, but I'm assuming I was a diversity hire. But he wanted me to try to build a better relationship between the department and the community. And when I first went to the transgender community, because I was trans at the time, I asked, I'm here on police business. The chief wants me to see what he and the department can do to to build a better relationship between the transgender community and law enforcement, because a lot of transgenders don't like cops, especially where I lived in. Well, they didn't like my questions that I was asking. So they started accusing me of asking questions like that of a cisgender woman. And I was eventually canceled because I was starting to get called names, that I was on the right wing of politics now, even though I was a liberal at the time.
Yeah, that's usually how it works.
Not allowed to ask questions, bro. Come on.
Yeah. And literally all my questions was, what events do we have coming up? What can the police do? Etc.
And this was in California, you mentioned?
That Southern California, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so not long after that, I was, I guess, excommunicated from the community, so I was no longer a member. And didn't realize it then, but once all the love bombing ended, didn't really have anyone else to be with, friend-wise. Just reality started to settle in, and I just woke up one day realizing, what the hell am I doing to my body? And just realized I was making a mistake, which then led to alcoholism.
Okay.
That's an interesting secondary consequence too.
Yeah, I mean, but not entirely like surprising. I'm sure a lot of people facing such a revelation probably fall into their lowest dark night of the soul period in their life. Maybe we can throw the ball to Laura about that. She knows all about the dark night of the soul over here.
Yeah.
But did you have a similar experience when you started to detrans and you realized, like, wow, I made a huge mistake? Like, was that like one of your lowest periods?
I was already I started to go into my lowest period right after I had my mastectomy. Okay. And I had issues with my friends, and I lost my friend group and did a lot of drugs. And so I was already like devolving to the point where I was like really questioning things. And that's when I was like, I'm going to get a psychological evaluation. I was diagnosed with PTSD, right, like within a month or so of when I realized that the transition had been related to trauma. So I was already like in a pretty low place, but definitely coming out, of actually at first it was a relief, like to know I had PTSD. And then it was like, I don't know if this is the case with you, Abel, like it's simultaneously horrifying, but also it's just a weight off your shoulders to realize that, you're not actually trans, like you're not actually born in the wrong body, and you don't actually have to try to live this way or pretend to be this. And it's just due to trauma, and it's like you have a real answer to it, and you don't have to live that sort of illusion anymore. Like I felt a huge sense of relief to know that I was it's a relief to just be, oh, I'm just a fucked up young lady. But then it's pretty brutal to just keep confronting it over and over. And I certainly was using a lot of, not alcohol as much, but marijuana, and my drug of choice is like limerence, like obsessions with people and toxic situations. So
Really fun bad relationships.
they weren't fun.
You don't even get into a relationship. It's just like,
Right. They wouldn't get into a relationship with me, and they wouldn't even have sex with me. That's what it was. Just I kept getting with these guys who had like erectile dysfunction. It's just, I think because I was so sexually insecure, not in terms of like being able to orgasm, but in terms of, like being so insecure about my body and being overweight and like having cystic acne. And so, it wasn't fun at all. I got nothing out of it. It was such a ripoff.
such a ripoff.
Like when I was with the narcissist, like I didn't even get that like fun narcissist sex because he had erectile dysfunction. He wouldn't have sex with me. It was so sad. Yeah.
Maybe it made them feel more secure in a sense because you were insecure, I guess, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, no, definitely. He really liked having power. Like it was only an emotional affair that we had. He had like a fiance, domestic partner, whatever it was. But yeah, he liked having the emotional, psychological power over me that I really wanted to have sex with him, and he would withhold sex by being like, I'm not attracted to you. You're too masculine. And this was after I detransitioned. But really he just had erectile dysfunction, and he just like felt too insecure to even try to have sex. So yeah, he liked the power.
Yeah, that's interestingly, that tends to be more of like a female, behavior to withhold sex in order to manipulate.
Yeah.
And
That's what it was really confusing.
Well, but men can deploy those sort of like female patterns, especially in today's society where, we have this like girl boss ideal where it's like women are the future and la 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 women. And there's this like and now men are toxic masculinity. There's this natural imbalance now, this perception or this generated funhouse mirror hall of bullshit that men are somehow evil or tainted or wrong, and that women are the superior being, and it is the women time, and we must descend the matriarchy, when in reality we've been living in a feminized culture for the last 20 odd some years.
The future is female, Frank.
We're in the future.
Girl boss.
We are
Look,
there. We are
if the future is female, we have to worship Laura, okay?
We have to
Yeah,
worship
well,
Laura.
yes. Also, it's International Women's Day today, isn't it? Like,
yeah, it is.
Yes.
So
I think so.
today we can
Perfect
worship women.
timing.
I saw people
Yeah.
posting
But
about it.
yeah, well, the thing, he was exhibiting cluster B behavior, which, it does tend to be, that more borderline type, but he was male, and he was, a very,
that's switching.
I don't want to say feminized.
And did he switch between affection and like disdain? Was that?
Yeah, like he talked really, he talked around things, and so he would say, if I said something like he said to me, I devote an absurd amount of time to you. like that kind of negging thing where it's like giving you a compliment, but also demeaning you and devaluing you at the same time. So yeah, like that sort of shit. But yeah, he just had erectile dysfunction and I don't know what other issues, but he definitely was the type of guy that was trying to pretend to be a feminist, pretend to like, yeah. So he was gross. But
To be fair, most feminist men are gross.
yeah,
I don't think I've ever met one that is not gross.
They're weird. I'm sorry. Like you gotta. I feel like the problem we're having right now is that there's just not. There's a deficiency in masculinity. It's like, and what little masculinity there is, it's unhoned. It's sort of like wild and untamed, and so
Yeah.
it gets the perception that it's toxic. Well, it's toxic because there's no honorable men in the room. And,
yeah.
You
And the
know,
same with women now. There's so much toxic femininity. So both sexes are, come on, guys, you need to start being sophisticated, mature.
yeah,
But-
well, this is it. We are now the adults in the room, Laura.
That's
Fuck.
concerning.
We
You also
haven't
gotta
had
remember,
it
look
yet.
at the role models these kids have.
Well, I'm 40. Daniel's, how old are you?
32. You forgot
32.
already.
Laura, how old are you?
25, 26.
25. And Abel, how old are you? 26.
26.
Yeah, we are. This is our world now. And,
Well, I'm glad that there's still some like 60, 50-year-olds like around to like help mentor.
there's some cool ones. There are.
There are some good ones.
We spoke
Well,
with
yeah.
Fred Sargent too. He's an old gay icon. He's in
Fred
his
Sargent, yeah.
He's in the
70s?
70s.
Yeah. He's great though. He's up in Burlington.
And Jordan, we have Jordan Peterson. Hopefully, like these
Wait.
dudes.
Laura.
My hope. What?
Oh, you got Jordan.
Oh,
He's got Jordan. There's
Yeah.
Jordan everywhere.
He's on my channel.
Jordan
We
is
love Daddy
everywhere.
Peterson.
we love him.
Daddy
Yeah.
Peterson.
And so my hope is that obviously he's influenced people already, but like my hope is that he's influencing like all these like 26-year-olds like in around that age, and then like maybe in like 2 years or so they'll like really have their shit together, and then they'll be eligible to date me.
Yes.
So that's
Well, you
the
gotta
goal.
find a man that cleans his room first.
Yes.
I know that's the
That'll be a
first
great-
step.
That'll be a green flag though when you meet the person and you chat with them and they know who Peterson is or they're somewhat at least familiar. Just be like, all right, that's a good sign. That was
Yes.
a green flag for our last roommate who just moved out a couple of weeks ago. But when we were interviewing with him, so I don't know if you guys watch Doctor Who, but
No.
do you watch Doctor Who, Abel? No.
Doctor Who?
Yeah.
No. Never mind. I'm trying to make that joke.
Yeah.
Doctor Who is a British sci-fi show, but we have this signed picture of Peter Capaldi, who's this older gentleman, and he played one of the doctors in the show in the kitchen. And when we were interviewing our roommate and we walked in the kitchen to show him the kitchen, he looks at the picture and he's like, "Oh, is that Jordan Peterson?" It wasn't, of course, but the fact that he, one, knew who that was, and two, thought the picture on the wall was him, I was just like, that's the one. He's the one.
Yeah. It's a huge green flag. Actually, someone messaged me on fucking eHarmony. I'm embarrassed to be on there, but eHarmony is not much going on. But someone did message me today, and so the only book like for favorite books that I have listed is 12 Rules for Life. So they're like, I see that the only book you have listed is 12 Rules for Life. Like, what did you think of it? And I was like, I'm an enormous JP fan. JP is my main man. And that's all I said. Like, the ball's in his court if he wants to respond to that and, see what's up.
Did he reply?
He never replied.
I haven't checked it. We'll see, but I did actually. Do you guys know who Akira the Don is?
No.
It's familiar to me.
Yeah, so I just found him. He is a musician and he makes what meaning wave music and videos. So like he literally takes clips of like Jordan Peterson, Alan Watts, like all these philosophers and stuff,
Right, yeah.
and makes like vaporwave music and videos with the lectures.
Huh.
And so my friend Stephanie Wynn was like, this dude might be your
Well,
soulmate,
yeah,
Laura. And I was like, I already checked and he is married. But yeah, I'm on his ass. Like, and so I tagged him. I was like,
You checked if he was married.
maybe one of your followers, like I'll have to like,
So
go
good. Oh,
through
he's
your
got
like
the
comments or
Goggins.
something to find my husband. And
got
he
a
was like,
Goggins, yeah.
actually, I have a community. Yeah, the videos are really cool. The music is a little bit slow for me, but it is very trippy and good. But he was like, actually, I have a community, and there's been 2 marriages
Yeah, he's good.
from the Meaning Wave community.
This
So
looks
I'm like,
toxic masculinity.
try to find a Jordan Peterson one.
There was like David Goggins one. I want to see that one. I love
It's
David
funny because I
Goggins.
was just talking about guts on Twitter today.
Yeah, David Goggins is great. But yeah, we're gonna have Stephanie Wynn on the show on the 20th.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I just
we're
interviewed
recording on
with
the
her like 2 days ago.
yeah.
So that'll be out in like a month.
This won't be a live stream though. It'll be a formal episode of recording. But we're gonna chat with her about her work, and we're also gonna talk about the documentary you were in, which we can get into a bit too.
You should ask her opinion on Laura's JP obsession.
She did actually mention you, Abel, and my obsession in our interview. Actually, one of her prepared questions was describe how you got obsessed with Jordan Peterson. So we talked about that. That's all going to be out there for the public.
I still have to schedule an interview with her.
Yeah, well, she might confront you on the AI art. I don't know if you guys have seen, but I make AI art and I make a lot of Jordan Peterson AI art,
I've
and
seen a couple.
some of my
Very questionable.
Some of them are questionable.
Well,
some
that's
of them
AI
are
art for you. I mean,
questionable,
come
but
on.
some of them are based. But a couple of my friends were like, we need to have an intervention because like some of it's going too far. Like the Jordan Peterson sexy Garden of Eden, like that was fine. But then there were some really fucked up ones. So
Peterson,
and it's not me. I mean, whatever. But so then I did a Twitter space, and several of my friends ended up downloading the same AI app that I use. And then we all started making Jordan Peterson AI art. And now I have several people initiated into it. So
I hope one day,
Laura, you should send them the ones that I made.
Yeah, tag it.
I'm on my phone. I can't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, one day Peterson is gonna realize that all these people are making AI art of him.
Well, hopefully he learns it from me first, but
Russell
I'm gonna try to get a hold of Jordan Peterson, and 2 things. One, I'm gonna tell him about Laura's AI art, and 2, I'm gonna try to get that book signed.
Get the book
Yeah.
signed. I have a signed book plate that I put in the book because we saw him speak at the Beacon Theater in New York City in 2018 when I think it was his last tour he was doing for 12 Rules of Life before he stopped that for a while. And, then he went through this whole dark phase and all that stuff and came out and then wrote his next book. But he, I guess, was very tired from the tours. And normally he would do meet and greets and do signings in person. But for that particular day on that show, he did not do a meet and greet signing, which I was really sad about. So he had a bunch of pre-signed book plates, and you could buy them with the book if you wanted.
that's good, but that is sad that he couldn't do it. By the way, these are him smoking crack.
Oh my God.
That's how it ended up going. Like, I wouldn't tag him in these. These are for personal use.
Yeah, we need to have an intervention.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know how the lipstick got in because this was my favorite for him. Like the pipe is his hand. Like he looks so paranoid.
Yeah, AI art is not good in the hands. Whoa, that doesn't even really look like him.
It looks like some dark, distorted version.
Oh my God. He's gonna see these one day, and he's gonna be like,
"Good job, Laura."
Hell?
Yeah. Well, I have tagged him in nice ones.
Nice.
I feel like he's gonna eventually block her.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did some pizza ones because the space was like a pizza party, and only I had the pizza, but it was still a party. But So I did some pizza
Oh
once.
my god.
Laura, would you be surprised if he blocked you for this AI artwork?
I don't think he would because
Laura
I think he
wants
has
pizza.
bigger problems to deal with.
Pizzagate Peterson, Russell said. Russell also said, I just saw him in Saskatoon.
You know what?
in
If
Canada.
I ever get to see him, I'm gonna ask him to block you for a second and send that as a screenshot.
That's gonna break.
Well, you haven't. If you go back, you'll see the ones that like really disturbed people. Like
Pizzagate Peterson.
there's one of him. Yeah, now you're seeing some of my other shit.
Hey, what's
Some
up,
damn guys out
Dad?
there.
I loved her.
Yeah.
I'm exposing your timeline to all of our
Yeah.
huge audience.
Mm-hmm.
I like this
That's
one.
all right. These are just some abstract photographs that I did. Nothing controversial about these.
Not AI art.
No. So I'm capable of normalcy.
I don't believe it.
What was that?
Meaning actual art.
Normal what?
Normal art.
Normalcy.
Normal ussy?
Normalcy.
Normalcy. Yeah.
I don't believe you, Laura.
Normaltude? I like it. I like it.
I don't believe you.
So
Wow.
how did this I haven't heard of this Detrans Day of Awareness. How did this get started?
Yeah, is this new? Did this just start this year?
No, they said it's the second year, right?
The second year.
Yeah, it's the second formal year. There's been about 3 or 4 years now where there's been stuff like small organizations and small meetups. And I think this I don't know who started the original day. I think it was the Peak Resilience Project who started that, but now I believe this website is being run by Our Duty. It's a parent organization. And so it's been going on for 2 years. GenSpect had the first webinar for detransitioners last year, which I was part of. They're doing one again this year.
Which
And
I will be part of.
Oh
I'll
yeah,
be
you will be a part of it?
Yeah,
Will you
since I won't be able to be in person for anything.
Yeah. Yeah, so I will be not able to attend live, but I did record a 30-minute monologue of me talking about the positives of detransition. So I don't know if they'll use that whole thing, but that's, some positive side to it. And it's gotten so much bigger this year. And this year now we have Chloe Cole, who has been doing so much advocacy work, very high profile advocacy and legal work. So she is hosting a rally in Sacramento on the 10th.
2 days from now.
Yeah, and Antifa is protesting it. So we don't know what's going to happen.
What are they?
And they can go fuck off. Wait, am I allowed to
go alone? Like, what the fuck?
They really can.
I
go
don't
fuck
know.
off, though. They tried to dox us, those bastards.
Really?
you know
Oh,
what?
yeah.
New York City.
They know where I live.
They know what neighborhood we're in.
They know generally where we live.
Yeah, but I'm not scared of those fucking people.
Yeah,
No,
if
they
try
have
to
my
dox
exact
you,
address.
what are they even going to do? Because it's not like,
I don't know. They'll have to
at this
wait
point, you don't
outside.
really have anything to lose, right?
Well, they would, if they were to come to my house, they would be getting a one-way ticket to Satan. Normally, I'd say God, but these
Texas,
are.
they take those things very seriously. You can't just show up at somebody's property with malintent.
Yeah, I mean, all I'm gonna
Yeah.
say.
It's so different here in New York.
Antifa-
I mean, you walk out on the street and you're on public property as soon as you're like outside.
Antifa Abel is strapped.
Abel is
We saw. That's all I'm gonna say. You don't want to go over there. And
I would
mess
love
with
to be
Abel.
strapped here in New York City, but it's just the reality of it is it's very.
If you think that's trapped, I also have an AK in my closet.
I believe
Yes, I have an AK in Florida.
he has one in Florida. He had to leave it there.
I had
when
to
we
leave it
left.
there.
Yeah, so his sister has
Because
it.
yeah, it's down.
I'm gonna channel my inner Russian if I have to use it.
You're inner Russian. Hell yeah.
I was lucky. I got 1,000 rounds before they closed the importation of Russian ammo before the Ukraine.
Oh yes, just 1,000 rounds. AK
So I got
ammo
1,000
over there.
rounds and AK down in
Yeah.
Florida.
Oh dear.
Pew pew.
Wait, what kind of AK do you have?
I forget. It's It's very pretty. It's like
It's like-
rosewood.
Yeah, the rosewood.
I have a
one.
picture somewhere I can pull up.
Yeah, mine is a Zavseva Arms ZPAP M70, Serbian, I believe, or Yugoslavian. There we go. So
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
Russian,
I
unfortunately.
forget. I think it was Czech. I can't remember. We got it at a.
No, I think it was American made, wasn't it?
American made.
Yeah.
I forget.
Wasn't it an American?
Well, no,
made
but it's
AK?
American constructed, but it's like a Czech like kit.
Oh,
Like that's how these things come.
Hmm.
Because it's like anybody can make an AK. Like it's
Plus, import laws for AKs are very strict, unfortunately.
Yeah, like you can get parts from like European manufacturers, but they have to put it together here. It's like a thing.
interesting.
You males being so interested in things instead
Sorry.
of people.
God. Yeah.
Come on,
Tell
Laura.
people about
You were a
people,
man for a bit. You should definitely know what we're
I was
talking
a-
about.
I'm kind
I
of.
have never been into firearms. I mean, I'm into my things and my abstract ideas, but I'm a bigger fan of feelings.
I'm a mix. I'm kind of in the middle. So I'm an artist, but I have to be. But I'm also an intellectual, and yeah, I like things. I'm still a dude. So,
Yeah. Do you guys like cars and trains and shit?
No, I mean I think
No.
trains. I like riding on trains. Trains are interesting.
I don't like
No.
trains.
I'm like computers.
Books.
Yeah.
Ideas.
I like books.
I like sleeping.
I like sleeping.
Well,
Yes.
I'm talking about like how Josh Slocum is like he's like into
His
trains,
lamps.
right? And lamps.
He's
His
into
lamps,
like
yeah.
explosions. He loves accidents. So like airplane accidents, like the Hindenburg. And he likes true crime and Mommy Dearest. What's her name?
Yes. Well, that I
Frank
wouldn't say
Knopfler.
that's the most masculine of his interests,
Kerosene
but
lamp.
Kerosene lamps.
Yeah, when I think of
Yeah.
Josh, I think of the kerosene lamps.
yeah, he did it. Did you see that whole he did like a whole thing on his show about the
Loved
lamps. I
it.
will admit
It
that
was-
a little like lost me a little bit, but
Loved it. There were
I
people
loved
in
it.
the
Some
there
of
were,
some people in the chat were
there was
so
a
mad.
couple people in the chat who were mad about
This
this.
isn't what I want to talk
Yeah, it's like, well, then watch another show.
Okay,
it's
well, this is what we're doing right now. You don't.
Josh's show. He wanted to do a special segment on kerosene lamps. Freaking deal with it. You could turn it off and watch something else.
Cope harder.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it was
It was
informative.
great.
Yeah.
It was so great.
It sold me. I want a kerosene lamp.
Hey,
now.
sometimes you need to like do a break from your like dark and serious psychological content and have like a little fun with some fucking lamps. I mean, come on.
yeah,
Like
Diversity
support
is
his special
key in
interest.
content generation. Like
it is.
it's good to have, its consistency is also key. Like you want to have a baseline, right? You want to have like that's why we have the show, we have our interview thing, and then we started to do more of the live streams. So the idea is to have something consistent, but you can spice it up every once in a while. You add a little spice, you do something different. We'll go out on the street. I went up to Burlington and I did a thing. I collaborated with the Disaffected Boys because we were protesting against the assault of Fred Sargent by this Troon Squad. They've got their own. It's called Outright Vermont. They're a nonprofit organization that likes to help children transition and fund things like drag queen story hours. And they're very good at fundraising and getting public funds for the purpose of helping kids transition. They get like breast binders. They have like little like child Troonie closets that they fund at the schools, so that they can have breast binders. They can get packers. Whatever they want.
Weirdos.
It's
So in other
KB.
words,
Leave the kids alone.
so in
Who was
other
the
words,
lady-
it's okay for them to do it to children, but Laura, me, Chloe, and others are the bad guys for wanting to stop that.
Yeah.
For
Who
you trying to
was
help
the lady? Who was the lady who assaulted Fred? What was her?
Wasn't her name like?
Oh shoot! He just said it on the last
Wasn't it,
episode.
like Becky or some shit?
No, I think
like-
that's just calling her
that's
Becky.
what it was calling.
I think her real name is like Bethany or something. I forget. He had it in the last episode.
But yeah, you're the evil one for telling kids that maybe they should just accept the body they're in and become comfortable with that. That's evil.
Kind of don't want to be dealing with the damages, but
You gotta
again,
gym. There might be ways, that'll give your natural testosterone a boost, and then you'll start to develop man titties, pecs.
I'm already taking testosterone supplements right here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Or is it's not like it's not it's not actual testosterone. It's just like testosterone building.
It's a testosterone boost.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I've done.
I'll show off air.
Cool. No, yeah. I mean, it's good to take those. It's good to take supplements. I take a lot of vitamins. I take B vitamins. I take C. I take vitamin D with K2. All these things. Your body is like a very complex chemical factory, and especially after you've gone through the process of transition where you've played with those hormones and those powerful chemicals. It's going to take a while to really come back to baseline and to repair some of that damage. So by taking the testosterone supplements or like things that help that, and just basic vitamins and good nutrition and getting exercise, I'm sure that's that'll help your get to recovery a lot faster.
Yeah,
It's just
I'm
good general for people.
Yeah, I've been trying to do a 7-day gym streak. So I just did day 5 today. I'm gonna see if I can do 2 more days without taking a day off.
Yeah, but then you like hurt yourself like right there or something?
It's like I'll be fine.
You got a little twinge?
Yeah, I like pulled a little something earlier. I don't know what the hell I did. I wasn't even working on upper body. I was working on lower body. But I think while I was doing the leg press machine,
she pressed a little too hard.
I don't know what I did. Maybe I was in the wrong.
Yeah, be careful when you start these new exercise routines, folks.
Yeah, well,
especially as you get into your sunshine years like me in your 40s, you have to be careful.
Well, you are looking definitely bulkier.
Thank you. I'm like one.
If it makes you feel better, you don't look a day over 21.
That was for you.
Stop it. It's the camera. The camera just like it makes it all just melt away. You can't really see. You can't see the crow's feet. The lines.
I'm like drinking a protein shake right now.
Of course you are. We're gonna have Caesar salad for dinner.
Is that going to be filling enough?
Yeah, it's fine. I've got ice cream and other things.
I already passed my normal calories for today, so it'll give me that extra boost that I need. But I've been trying to stay in surplus, so at least over 3,000 a day. But really, I should probably be consuming more. The other day, I consumed 5,000 calories, and then the next day, like nothing. I was like, I didn't put any fucking weight on. It's like I ate 5,000 calories, and I'm still like the same weight. Crazy.
Huge.
Wow.
Fatty.
For my height and everything, like to lose weight, I should be eating 1,500 calories a day. That's very difficult.
Yeah, that's
like my breakfast.
Yeah, I know, right?
Wait, how tall are you, Laura?
5'2".
You said 5'4"?
2.
Oh, you're
Oh, you're really that tiny? I had no idea you're that tiny.
I'm very petite. But my appetite and amount of my voids that I need to fill with food are
Wait,
not.
telling me Chloe's taller than you?
I think we're around the same.
She's 5'4".
Really? Then she is taller than me.
Are you guys gonna have your little retreat?
Yeah, we are.
Unfortunately, I can't go. Finances, unfortunately,
not
don't.
this one, but I'm sure there'll be one in the future where you'll be able to make it.
Yeah. Well, this one was very impromptu.
I told people when we go to Texas, we have to make a pit stop in Waco. I want to get a group photo.
Yeah, I would love to go to Texas. There's going to be a. Oh, by the way, Abel, my connecting flight is going to be in Dallas, so I will be in Dallas tomorrow for a second.
What airport are you stopping in? DFW or Love Field? There's only 2.
Yeah, I have to double check.
You're more than likely stopping at DFW.
Yeah, so I'll be there for a second before going to LA, but there's going to be.
Wait, what flight? Wait, no, you're not going. You're going to LA, not Sacramento. Never mind.
Yeah.
How long are you going to be in LA for? Is this for the meetup?
This is for. I'm doing so for Affirmation Generation, the documentary. There's going to be a premiere and a screening of it at the LA Art Museum, and then I'm going to be on a Q&A panel in LA. So I'll be in LA for 3 days, and then I'm going to be going to Northern California for the little gathering of people. I think it's going to be me and Chloe and maybe a couple other people. But it's pretty low key. because this was impromptu. Like we didn't have time to plan, but I do intend to plan an extensive retreat where we're going to get like proper funding. And I just decided to do this because I was getting flown in to LA at that time. So I'm like, yeah, just when I'm available. So, but we'll do a big one. We'll do a big one.
Volunteer their vacation home too, right? It was very sweet of them.
Yes, an ROGD parent friend of mine very generously volunteered their lake house to us.
It's very sweet.
Yeah, so it's gonna be fun. I'll go to San Francisco and meet up with some other friends.
Careful, don't go to the transgender district. I'm not kidding. I actually, when I went to San Francisco, the company that flew me out there got me a hotel in the transgender district. I don't think they knew because they were Swedish.
What's that, like Haight-Ashbury? Like right there in the middle of...
I don't remember. I wasn't paying attention.
It's probably Haight-Ashbury. That was like the big gay area. It's like Christopher Street in New York.
I've never been over there, so...
Well, you missed it. Your opportunity to go was in the past. It's gross now. But it should be fun to stay safe and just be careful. One, don't step in any human feces.
Well, I am gonna go. I have been warned about like Venice Beach. Like when I was reading the reviews of Venice Beach, they were like, "This is super cool. Totally go check out like the crazy people, but also, you know, be mindful and things like that."
Go in a group.
Yeah,
jokes on you. I'm already crazy.
Don't go alone if you're a tiny, female.
Well, that's the thing. I might have to go. It's going to be a pain, like, 'cause I might have to go to alone to some of these things.
Carry peppers.
And I like want to bring my camera. So I don't know, but I mean, I was told by a local that it should be safe during the day.
Yeah, day is probably the best bet.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. No, not at night. Not at night. At night, I'm gonna go to the Comedy Store, as I am so happy. I'm a comedy nerd, so that's gonna be big for me. So
yeah, it's like comedy mecca.
It is. It is.
Well, that'll be fun. I wish you a fun little journey. And then when are you back?
To be determined, because I pretty much have an open invitation to stay with my friend. And he wants to like show me all these places. So
cool.
Maybe like 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
What about your rats?
The rats will be taken care of by my parents. So
thanks, Mom and Dad.
Your parents are probably like, damn it, we gotta take care of freaking brats.
Hey, you gotta feed them.
Yeah, they are.
So they have to take care of their grandkids, in other words.
The grandkids.
Yes, the grand rats, yes.
The grand rats. I love it. Adorbs.
Yes.
Well,
and I don't even know where Norm is right now. I really don't know where he is. Danny jumped down and I assume he went back into the room. But Norm has been missing for like several hours. So yeah. And he wouldn't even come out for food, so who knows? But I do need to find them before I fly out of here.
They're like free roaming rats.
They're free roaming, right? You don't keep them in like a cage or a tank.
Oh God, I keep them in a cage. I mean, if I didn't keep them in a cage, there would be no internet. There would be the wires would be, there'd be nothing. So they are in a cage, but I do sequester them to my bedroom. So I don't really let them out in here unless I take one out at a time, or they sneak out and get into the garbage or whatever. So
typical rat behavior.
Typical rat behavior, yeah. I mean, and it is something.
Would you say their behavior also is like that video that you sent of one of them jumping at the mirror?
That video was so cute.
Oh yeah, with them. Yeah, because they were trying to get into my closet and they successfully got in there many times and made a huge mess. So my dad put up some wood to block the door so they couldn't climb up in there. So I posted a video of them like coming up thinking they were going to get in, and they did not succeed that time. I was very happy.
Oh, Matt wants to give mad respect to all of you.
Oh, thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Much
Mad
appreciated.
respect.
We're just vibing right now. Just vibing.
What if I don't want to be mad when I give respect?
You want to be happy? Happy respect for all of you.
Depressed respect.
Mad prop.
I'll take mad as in like crazy.
Yes. Like the Mad Hatter. Yep.
I think he just meant
Here he is. He came back.
excessive amounts.
Yeah.
Straight back over.
Oh, there he is.
Oh my god.
the
Beady
little
eyes.
guy. He's so tiny. He's so tiny and cute.
I feel like he sees
You
us.
see his beard?
No, I can't.
Oh, he's
Remember,
so-
I'm blind over here.
He does have a beard. People are
He's-
probably
he-
just like, the
I
show
love
is
his beard.
weird. They bring rat chicks on. You're a rat chick, Laura.
She's cute
I'm a
little
crazy
guy.
rat lady.
It's a cute little
Instead of
guy.
a cat lady or a rat lady.
I mean,
Yeah,
how could
crazy.
you not love adorable, fuzzy little things? I mean, he's a
I got a really good compliment yesterday. So I said, you know, I'm really glad I have the rats because who else is gonna lick me and nibble on my ears? And then someone was like, "This is my favorite horny post of yours," and I was like, "I'll try to top it, but thank you."
Oh my.
Wait, what if you find a husband that does that to you?
Is that the one?
Then
Only
yeah,
for-
then
Only
You
if you're
know.
Jordan Peterson.
Laura's turn-ons include ear nibbles and
Ear
cuddling.
nibbles.
Well,
Wait.
I have a
They'll
lot of
nibble on her ears while reading Jordan Peterson fan fiction.
that would be great. Like just lying in bed, like making the AI art, and then like other things are going on. Yeah,
Multitasking.
yeah.
Wait. What if Jordan Peterson reads fanfic about himself?
I feel like he reads better literature than that.
I'm saying, but if he did that for fun.
Mad City got suspended
A
for
tra-
for 444 days for offering $1 million for a transgender gerbil. The offer is also good for rats. No, her rats are not transgender. They're all boys, right?
Look at these balls.
Look at these rat balls.
That's
They
all-
teabag me all
You know,
the
I'm
time.
kind of glad I'm losing my eyesight because I don't want to see rat balls.
Not safe for work content.
They're just fuzzy little testicles, you know. I mean, by little,
are.
I mean, they're big.
Wait,
for his
Let
body.
me see one more time. Maybe I can try to.
What are the?
It's like a little sack.
You know what's the
Your
sad part?
problems.
That's bigger than mine.
Oh, that's a he/him for sure.
That's
He has a small dick though,
He's
Yeah,
just
well,
Still bigger than mine.
They're designed.
but he has a long tail, so he's a shower.
not a grower.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Just because he's bigger than me in every area doesn't mean you have to put that in my face.
Why gotta rub it in?
Not my fault. The estrogen made me tiny.
It'll come back. Just give it some time. Lift some weights. It'll be fine. Eat
It's
lots of
been
bacon.
2 years. 2 years.
You're gonna need more, girl. I fucked up my finger, so I don't know. There are injuries that take very long times to heal, and this is something I didn't discover until I was in my 30s. I was swimming at my friend's pool, and I just was doing the freestyle, and I slammed my hand specifically like these two fingers into the wall. And when I did that, I severely damaged the tendons in this finger and this finger. And it took like a year and a half, 18 months, 19 months before I could do this again. I was doing this forever.
Wow.
And to get that last little bit in there, it took like almost 2 years. So you're gonna have to be very patient with yourself, and you gotta treat yourself like you are, like Dr. Daddy Peterson says, like you're the child that you have to take care of. So you have to make sure you get all your vitamins, your good sleep, your exercise, your nutrition.
Well, I don't do most of
You
that.
will. You got to give yourself time. I'm in my
Yeah.
40s, so I had my raucous, wild, crazy years in my 20s where I was not doing those things, and it takes time for you to learn these things, and
Yeah.
you'll get there. Just gotta be patient with yourself.
Mm-hmm. 2 years is not long enough. Like, my voice definitely has gotten higher than it was like a couple years ago from the testosterone. In terms of what the kids call bottom growth, I don't know. Maybe a bit. I don't know. But
I think I know
yeah,
what you're talking about.
yeah, that bottom growth.
Bottom
Yeah.
growth.
That's like when
Yeah.
the girl part gets a little bit bigger than it normally is.
Yeah. I mean, it can get to the size of like a micro penis, I guess. Like, or like,
Mhm.
So
it
in
can
other
get
words,
I think
yeah,
that's
you
what
grew a
Buck
penis.
Angel has going on down there. I believe.
yeah. So that didn't happen to me, but there may have been, at least on Grinder, people would ask me that when I was on there.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, Grinder. I still haven't yet done my
Girl, I haven't been on Grindr since like 2014.
I've never used it. Never
that's
had Grindr.
that's very impressive. Grinder. I was also on Scruff looking for a daddy.
Looking
You
for
know.
Scruff,
that.
Manhunt, Grinder, Adam for Adam, Craigslist.
I
Yeah,
used Adam for
Craigslist.
Adam once in my 20s, and that was it.
Craigslist. They took away the personals.
Manhunt.
Manhunt. No, I was not on, but
Manhunt's funny.
I still
Scruff
need
was
to do my
definitely
expose on Grinder.
Oh, what's
Like,
the other like BDSM one? Not Scruff. Shoot,
Were you on that one too?
briefly.
Briefly, I
Trying to
see.
remember what it was called.
Just laying it all out there, Brett.
I can't remember what it was called. Oh wow.
it's not like there's a good chance I might have been on it. Like just BDSM. I don't know. I never even really did any BDSM.
So in
So
other
this
words,
is-
you
I
were
got
on
nothing
a
out
lot
of
of.
Yeah.
So in other words, you were on a lot of dating apps for men
Well, they weren't dating apps.
or hookup, whatever.
Yeah, and I would after a lot of trauma, in a short amount of time, I just started specifically targeting like the worst group of men to target, like the older middle-aged men that were having midlife crises who were bisexual, drug addicts.
Oof.
So those men those are the people that were interested in me on Grindr, which makes sense, you know. But yeah, they weren't the healthiest peer group.
I could imagine that.
Yeah.
What's up, Ralph? Thanks for joining, bro. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah, it's rough. Hi, bro.
Oh dear. I'm just thinking about these hookup apps now. I'm actually really glad I avoided all of that. Would not have been healthy.
Yeah, it just leaves you wanting more. Like it just creates more of a void because you feel like maybe you're getting close to something, but it's like eating junk food. Like it's not sustaining you at all, and you just get more hungry for real, stuff.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good analogy. Actually, it's like it's just empty calories. There's no nutrition in it. Yeah,
There's no substance.
no substance.
Yeah, I like to say like I'm looking for like a meat and potatoes guy now, like real fulfillment.
Real fulfillment.
Daddy needs to pay my bills. Come on.
That's
It would be nice. Although I am starting to get some extra money from my Etsy store.
Daddy, pay my bills.
That's very bottom of you, Brett.
It's International Women's Day.
It's International Women's Day.
Look,
I'm gender fluid.
Everyone's
Laura needs a man that can support her kids.
Yes.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
ideally I would be a homemaker and an artist, keep doing my art business on the side, and then they could do their thing-oriented job that makes a lot more money, than like female professions.
Are you talking
They
about
could do engineering or whatever they do.
traditional gender roles?
Yeah, I know, right? Jordan Peterson.
Laura.
No,
Laura,
I got this.
I'll be a filmmaker and I'll take photos of you.
Yes, do. And once I lose weight, other types of portraits, like I do, like for the scars and everything, like it is a very distinct look. Not that I'm trying to fetishize it, but
yeah, I mean,
it's
definitely
just
its own look.
it would be provocative, for portraits. But I want to lose some weight first before I do that.
Well, I just bought this, so I need to learn first.
Hmm.
You gotta hit the gym, girl. Also, you look great.
Well, thank you.
You look very
I
neat.
do need to go to the gym.
Come on, let's do it.
Abel, you
The
can
muscle.
check out my sister, CaitlinCopenhaver.com. She's a photographer. She can give you some tips. She's on Twitter. If you have any
Nice.
Never send me a DM. I'm unfortunately very busy nowadays. Laura can attest to that.
Not necessarily. About
What? You're not busy. You've
It's
been
good to be
hanging out
busy.
on our live on the Twitter Spaces like every time I have one.
Hey, just because you do it when I have a job and I work night shifts, okay? So don't get mad at me when you are up at 3 a.m, okay?
Yeah,
I'm not mad that you're coming to my chat.
You being up at 3 a.m. when I'm working and joining your spaces does not mean I have nothing to do. Okay?
Yeah, no, he is at work. He is at work.
I am
when
multitasking.
Yes, yes.
Very nice. Very impressive.
I'm
What do
being
you-
gaslit over here.
Gaslit. I don't judge. I'm glad that you joined my chats. Otherwise, they would be a little sparse at times. Because
Wait, are you
like,
having these chats at like the wee hours in the morning?
well, no, I've had most of them at like 7, 8 p.m. But also sometimes at like 1 in the morning.
Twitter sometimes is so weird. Like I feel like I interact with people, and
Yeah,
then Twitter does not show me them ever, and then I
I'm
have to
following Abel right now. I just followed you.
like.
I tried to look him up and I couldn't find him, but I went to Laura's page and I found him.
Oh, I'm official Able G.
Yeah, I
Wait,
found
does
you.
Twitter have you search banned? Funk.
Me?
God. You are search banned, Laura.
I am.
You're like autofill banned.
Let's
Ah.
confirm this right now.
It's not. Yeah, because you're not. It's not coming up unless I have to like type it all.
We can confirm this right now. Actually, you can do it on here and show it.
How do I do it?
So look up Twitter shadow ban.
Hold on.
Now I'm kind of curious if I'm shadow banned.
Yeah, we'll look you up too. We'll see.
Twitter.
I know.
Shadowban?
I'm shadow banned.
.com? Is that what it is?
They hate me now. Thanks, Elon. I thought you were changing this shit.
Oh,
Yeah,
Laura,
nothing-
I finally got the blue check mark.
Go back to.
Yes, I did, and I'm still shadow banned.
I don't remember the
No. I'm telling you, I finally got
Oh,
mine.
you did? Oh,
first one.
nice.
Yeah, someone sponsored
No,
so I've been
for
sponsored
handle.
for 2 months for the blue check mark because that's all they were able to help me with. So I'm gonna test it out these 2 months.
God. Artist.
You gotta wait, but yeah. So you're a search suggestion banned
And
and
search
search banned. So that means when someone goes to try to type your handle in, no suggestion will come up even if you type the whole thing in.
So
And when someone
searches,
searches for your content, they won't
Funk.
find you either.
so you're not.
Oh, that
you're not
sucks.
automatically
Yeah.
killing.
So
God. Artist
yes.
doesn't even
so
when
you
I
don't,
type it
you
in.
don't come up.
So how do you get unbanned?
I don't even know. I mean,
Call Elon.
the Dangerous Rhetoric account had both those bans on them for a while
You're a-
too, and they were lifted. All
You're
of a sudden.
blue, so I mean, I would put in a customer service request.
Look me up again. Is mine still shadow banned? I think probably. I haven't checked in a bit, but
What are you?
Well, I recently got suspended,
Hey, that could be a
so
tip.
maybe that's why.
Probably.
like, okay,
No.
so they lifted it on me. See, but this is weird. It's so arbitrary. Like, I didn't appeal or anything. Like, maybe it's a temporary thing, because a couple weeks ago, I had those same bans that Laura has right now: search suggestion and search ban, and my engagement dropped drastically after that, which was in the whatever.
Well, that sucks. Like I'm trying to sell my stuff.
Trying to grift, yeah. Like, how are we
Yeah,
supposed to
trying to grift.
Elon? What the hell?
Yeah,
the
that's bullshit.
prunes.
I think I will send in a
But you're
request.
clear.
The
It's just
the Troons
it's
are
just Laura
reporting
that's
us.
got the ban.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Dude,
Repeat that. I couldn't hear.
You're clear. There's no ban on you, Abel.
Okay.
It's just-
Laura,
That-
the Troons have been.
I'm surprised
Troons have
with
been
all the
reporting Laura.
fighting I start.
I think it is probably because I was suspended.
Probably.
They could do it. They could leave that on for like a period
I
afterwards.
wasn't though.
I was blocked out. I was locked out for almost 2 weeks because I I made fun of some straight person that was identifying as queer, and I was like, "Look, honey, just because you sucked a dick at an orgy once, that don't make you no mo."
Can't say that.
And they reported it as hateful conduct. And I was like, "It's not hateful. Clearly, it's like gay, witty sass. Like, come on, like."
Well, I learned something interesting because I think my stuff was flagged, and apparently there's a thing. If you even say in the same tweet trans and mental illness,
Yep.
it will flag it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I feel like I should try it.
Why? Why poke the bear? It's not worth anything. That's what
I
they
got
nailed
nothing to lose.
Sarah Higdon for. Sarah Higdon was like, I have a mental illness and I have a diagnosis for gender dysphoria, and you know they nuked his account for a hot minute, and they came back.
Well, to be fair, Sarah was also doing was causing a lot of drama in general. So
yeah, well, you know that's like what our people do. This is like, you know, gay, trans, like we cause drama. We come in, we bust into the scene, we start reading everyone, telling the truth, making everyone really uncomfortable. And, you know, sometimes there's the opposite. You've got the other queens that just want to come in and lie. And they're really good at it. And, you know, they're charismatic and they're presentable and they're pretty and they have all their friends and that. And, you know, it's like a battle of the homosexual wit.
Maybe that's why I wasn't able to last long there.
Probably. You know, it's very cutting. There's a lot of damaged people and there's a lot of predators, a lot of social predators. So to sort of survive in that milieu, you have to have confidence. You have to be psychologically resilient. And they sniff out weakness, like, you know, flies on stinky things, and they will go right to it and exploit. And then until they can't anymore, and then they move on to the next person. I've seen it a lot in New York. You know, New York, it's a big pond. There's a lot of predatory aspects to the scene here. And
stay out of it.
Well, you can, or you know, I had more of a direct experience. I learned a lot in my 10, 12 years here in the city about the nature of the scene and gay culture, and I saw a lot of firsthand personality disorder and predatory personalities, and it's not a place for children. I mean, it's questionable. But is it a place for adults? I mean, questionable. I definitely feel
it's questionable for adults. No, for kids then.
Definitely not for kids. It's definitely not for kids. That's for sure.
You know, some people would say yes, it's okay for kids.
I remember when I had my first YouTube channel. It was called It's Bruntley, and I would do sort of like a Tim Pool style breakdown of stories in the news that like just really got me wound up. And one of the first things that started me going was little Desmond is amazing as an LGBTQ activist and advocate doing his little drag kid thing. And I found there were other drag kids. And I was like,
I don't know. I feel like I've never liked any of that with the drag kids.
It's not appropriate for children.
That's good. That's good.
I feel like I'm insane for not supporting that, even when I was trans. But I think no.
And now it's like, you know, that's one level of it. And now we've got the kids actually transitioning medically.
Well, didn't he go on camera making it look like he was snorting ketamine or something like that?
That was on Michael Alig's podcast.
Yes, you're talking about Desmond is amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
That he went on there and did sort of like a little thing.
His mother let him do that too. And
yeah, she was there. She was a big fan of Michael Alig.
Like, let's explain a bit how crazy this is to people watching who might not know who Michael Alig is. So
wait, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't he either a murderer or a cannibal? One of those two.
Not a convicted murderer and drug dealer.
All right, but let's describe to the audience this type of person that this mother allowed this child to sit down and talk with on their podcast. He was convicted for killing his drug dealer in a rage, chopping his body up into pieces, and throwing it into the Hudson River.
Well, first, actually,
Well, he tried to dissolve it.
tried to dissolve it in the bathtub
and that
with
failed
Clorox, and
with
it
Clorox.
didn't work.
Didn't work, and then
Everyone knows Clorox doesn't do much for.
Yeah, he not a very smart person, probably high as hell on drugs. But I don't care how high you are on drugs. If you have it in you to not only kill someone, but then to chop their body up afterward.
Yeah, you're not the kind of person that should be around children.
There's something extremely wrong there, and I don't understand what type of parent would even let a kid near a person like that, let alone sit down and talk with them on the internet.
And when he was on the podcast, it just seemed off.
Yes,
and
like he was drugged or something.
And it was very disturbing.
No, it's.
But shortly thereafter, the podcast failed, and he
didn't he pass away?
He died from a heroin overdose, I think.
Sounds about right. Yeah, well, burn in hell, Michael Halig.
Karma catches up with you eventually.
So Party Monster, the movie was
about him.
Uh-huh. Really? Oh, okay.
Yep.
It was based on him.
That was based on that. Yep.
With Seth Green, I believe.
And Macaulay
Culkin. Yeah, very 90s film. If y'all young people out there have not seen Party Monster, you don't know what we're talking about, go watch Party Monster. So download it.
What if I don't like movies?
Story I said, Laura, and you're like, oh, this sounds like Party Monster.
No, someone said in the chat.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah. When I was young, I think I saw it, and it was over my head. But it was a distinct film. I remember the gist of it. I was probably high when I was watching it.
It's definitely, it's not one of those films you want to watch like over and over again, but it's definitely something you can watch once to get the story and be like, wait, and then like after you watch it, then you can go to like, read about like the actual and see how accurate it is, and then you're like, wow. And then additionally, this guy got out of jail and then, had this podcast with the child on. Just bad news bears. But what are you gonna do? Just rant about it on the internet, I suppose. It's like, it's like what I do. It's like what we do here.
That's what everyone does. It's the human condition now.
Welcome to the culture war where we get on the internet and complain about things.
Oh, it's him and his roommate.
Yeah, it was him.
This guy.
Yeah. There was somebody else involved too, but
it's a confrontation over drug debt.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, these aren't good people. These aren't people you should be letting your kids sit down and chat with on the internet. Like, what the hell is wrong with this kid's mom?
A lot.
Clearly.
Yeah, she got mad. She tried to have my video copyright struck because
I'm just curious when Desmond will come out as a trans child.
It's gonna happen.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
He might.
I don't think so.
He might.
Look,
that's how he'll get more attention.
I know. I think the opposite is going to happen. He's going to get through puberty, and I think there's going to be that natural male rebelliousness, and maybe his testicles will drop, and he'll, grow up and grow out of it. Because that's what most happens. This is what happens to most of these kids, right? They, they grow up and they desist because puberty is really the cure for childhood gender dysphoria. That and treatment for trauma, which is, the big elephant in the room that I feel is totally, most therapists just don't even consider it. It's just like, oh, you're trans, and not even an investigation into whether or not the child was abused, what exactly happened, why are they feeling, this gender confusion, maybe they're just a little gay. Like, that's possible.
Oh, so I was reading about the murder. There was no Clorox involved, Brett. So from what it says here, Alig and Riggs did not know what to do with the body. They initially left it in the bathtub, which they filled with ice. After a few days, the body began to decompose and became malodorous. After discussing what to do with Melendez's body and who should do it, Riggs went to Macy's to buy knives in a box in exchange for 10 bags of heroin. Alig agreed to dismember Melendez's body.
Okay.
So, hey, give me some heroin and I'll cut the body up.
All right, enough.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say
people to
better
understand that this is a person like this woman. Like
I think we've established the point.
It's just like, what the hell? And this was all public information. This was all known.
Like, it was the New York City club kids scene.
Yes,
like they were like, these are the kids going out to the tunnel and like Roxy.
80s and 90s, late 80s, early
90s. Whose background has law enforcement?
Sorry, so you can hear New York in the background.
I knew it. It was New York.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's New York.
This is Manhattan. It's the Big Apple. Bop, bop, ba-na-na, bop.
I haven't seen any big apples when I've gone. All your apples are normal size, if not smaller.
Well, you got to go to the bodegas on the street corner to get the big green apples. They got the big green ones at the bodegas.
Well, then you're gonna have to show me because
Next time you're here, definitely look us up. We'll hang out. We've that's like one of my favorite things is to hang out with people that we've met, through the internet in real life. Like we hang out with.
fine. I'll bring Laura with me next time I go.
I know. I want to. I was gonna say earlier. There's gonna be a event in Austin, Texas, in April.
Coming up,
April
right?
20th, 21st.
Informed. I think it's another Myth Informed conference.
Yeah, I think yeah, and I might possibly have funding to go to that through Partners for Ethical Care.
I don't need funding. I live in Texas.
Yeah, so
but I will charge them for gas and hotel fees though, because I am broke.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'd love to go. And maybe I can make it happen. See if I have enough airline points.
I think it's April
20th and 21st is around those 2 days.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. We came down for the Myth Informed conference last year, 2022, and we hung out with Libby Emmons, James Lindsay, Colin Wright was there. We saw Blair White. We got to meet Josh Slocum from the Disaffected podcast. He was on the panel. We made friends with like so many people. We got to like a lot of my mutuals, like Anastasia Beaverhausen. Like I got to meet her, and also the Duzens. There's the supporters, Carol and her husband.
Yeah, shout out to Carol and her
husband. They've been following us since like
the beginning,
and giving us money. It's so sweet of them.
It was weird because like I didn't know what they looked like. So when they came up to me at the after party and said hi and introduced themselves, it was just so weird. I was like, I have fans. This is weird. I'm like, someone recognizes me and like actually came up to me and complimented my show. And at that time, like we had like no subscribers. We had probably a couple
less than 1,000.
Yeah, I mean probably like 200.
Yeah, it was very small.
Yeah, I have yet to be recognized, but a lot of people within the Texas area know who I am.
Well, just keep doing your activism, and it'll get around. Really, you should be doing. Well, you got to get yourself in a good spot first. Like you don't really want to like get involved in activism until like your head kind of gets screwed on straight.
Well, it's not even just activism.
Oh, well, then you're too late. I've been doing this for a while.
I mean, well, we I think Casey talked about this on Laura's one of her Twitter spaces, but like she had to step away from this, got involved in her, she put that testimony video out just talking about her experience and then did not expect it to blow up in the way that it did. And then all of a sudden her original Twitter account like grew massively really quickly. And, she had a bunch of family drama and stuff too that initiated from all of that after her mother saw the video. And then so she stepped back from it. But it's like, if you're not yet put together mentally and healing to deal with all of that on top of the process of healing.
I'm so broken. Don't worry.
That's your focus should be on the healing and the repairing and
part. But
don't worry about this.
But what I will say is
this is just for fun.
For some people, engaging in that stuff in the discourse and all of that could be part of the healing process, I guess. But you have to make sure you have that thick skin. You can deal with it because like you're gonna get a lot of shit. And one of the things that Casey is also posted about on her old Twitter, I remember, is how it's hard to trust when you're a Detrans person in this current environment, because how do you tell who from either side is just trying to use you? Because like, yes, on the left side, they're going to hate you and disown you and call you a traitor and all this stuff. And yes, you'll find a lot of people on the right who are going to support you, but how many of them are doing it because they're genuinely compassionate and caring about who you are as a person, what you've been through, and how many of them just want to get the clout, the shock value of putting a tweet, of showing, oh, hey,
click farmers and take sellers.
Yeah, like look at what this person did to themselves.
There's a lot of them.
In this
space.
And I sympathized with that, and I definitely I'm not gonna say understand, but I could see the point of where she was coming from and try to put myself in her shoes. That it must be really weird to be in that position and to not know who to trust. Because one, you're going through that trauma after the experience that you went through, so that's part of it. And then two, now all of a sudden you're put on this sort of platform where you're expected by all these people to speak on behalf of all these other people, when at the end of the day you guys are all, you're individuals. You're like, Abel's story isn't going to be exactly the same as Laura's story, which isn't going to be exactly the same as Casey's or Shape's or Richie, or you guys come from different places, different, Richie's in the UK, like, so there's just that too. There's different cultural aspects to what's happening, and then different traumas that you probably underwent that aren't quite the same either. So we have to remember, like, we're talking to a person, an individual, and to humanize that individual.
I had a great conversation with Stephanie Wynn, and we really got into the relationship between parents and detransitioners. And I talked about both sides, both the positive aspects and the harmful aspects, the parentification of detransitioners and sort of the martyrdom. What
was the first word you used?
Parentification.
Parentification?
Yeah.
I heard brentification.
Oh.
Sorry. I was like, what?
Yes, brentify. Yeah, so that'll be a really interesting conversation. I think parents, again, like, I have some really good parent friends. They're very supportive to me. But then there's been some and that could have better boundaries around young people who are strangers, who have severe medical trauma, and so I call them out, but also give them credit in that. So we'll see if I get any backlash over that when that comes out. But I will say, like, that'll be on Stephanie's podcast.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, you guys know, like, I started to get some attention, and then I went mostly private, and I dumped a lot of shit on a very private account for a long time, and I still do, but I didn't do it as publicly. And so now for about a year or so, I've been more underground, but still learning and watching everything. And now I feel confident and secure enough in my own healing to be a lot more public. And I am getting a lot more hate. So I'm glad that I took that time to sort of hang back, and now I'm ready to grift as my heart's content.
To grift, bring on the hate.
Well, it's important to focus on your mental health when you need to focus on your mental health.
Yeah, no,
I don't care about mental health. I'm mentally stable.
No, Abel, you can do it, man. Come on.
Just gotta give yourself.
I'll just wait till I become Paul Walker. I crash and burn.
Oh, dear. Quite a reference.
Rip, Paul Walker.
No, yeah. I had a period where I briefly had to step away from this show for a bit as well, and like put myself in order and figure out certain things in my life. But it does become exhausting too, doing this and having these sorts of conversations, but not just having the conversations, but always reading and paying attention and keeping up with what's happening and information overload. And then a lot of the stuff that you're looking at is quite like disheartening stuff. It's heavy stuff. Like today we just premiered our episode with Tara Rodas, and that's all about how migrant children are being smuggled over the border and then basically trafficked by the government to random homes and places where they're not even vetting where these kids are
not
going.
Random, actual known criminals in some cases.
Yes.
Our government hand delivered.
I was say there is a group of Venezuelans at my apartment complex who are doing some illegal stuff.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure a lot of
the city is aware of them, but that's all I can say.
Yeah, wow. No, I feel it. Well, we're going to talk to Aaron Stevenson next tomorrow, and that'll be our episode 106. And he is another Project Veritas whistleblower like Tara, But Tara was looking at it from the angle of
she was in the HHS, Human
Yes.
Health and Services, in
Yes.
the gender or unaccompanied minor program, and she was just thought that she was going to be
volunteered to help.
just volunteering, like talking to kids. You know, she was bilingual, so she, you know, just talking to kids, helping do the processing,
and then
the
noticed a
questionnaires.
lot of suspicious
And
things.
then came across all this suspicious shit and started to report it, and then they fired her.
Yep.
And it was like
they wouldn't do anything about it.
and
But
there was one point where she was talking to like the special agent in charge, who's like, you know, the woman that you go to if there's like a problem, and she's like a lawyer,
an attorney, yeah.
and Tara explained what happened. She looks at her and she said, she looks me in the eye and she said, Tara, you know, traffickers don't sue us. Do you understand? And I was just
Basically, let this go.
like, what?
Leave it alone. That's it. Forget about this. And yeah, from there on, you know, after that, and then after seeing Aaron Stevenson's Project Veritas leak, and he was approaching it from the Department of Homeland Security side of things, and he noticed his own discrepancies on that side, where there were people on a watch list, known criminals and stuff, who were being allowed to advocate to take in migrant children and that sort of thing. So they were both seeing the same sort of issue from different angles. And when she saw his whistleblowing, that gave her partly, you know, the courage after this meeting with this lawyer to also step up and to blow the whistle and say these things. But the point and why I got into this is like, that's dark, heavy shit, you know, and to talk about that stuff and to think about that stuff, often it does become exhausting. And there are definitely times when like I almost want to step away from this shit and like vanish from the public, you know, influencer sphere or whatever. And then there's all the drama that happens on Twitter, like influencers fighting with other influencers, and you have to take sides with this, and like James O'Keefe versus the board of Project Veritas, and you have to side with one side or the other side, and all this stuff. Like, and now there's a whole shit with like Christina Buttons like leaving Daily Wire.
Yeah,
and
it's not nearly as important.
But my point is, like, people are fighting. There was the whole Eliza Blue thing too,
there's been a lot of intra-conservative / moderate drama.
And I'm bringing this up because that shit to me is not important. What is important are these subjects. Like, kids are being trans, like kids are being trafficked. Like, these are the issues. These are the things we should be focusing on and having the talks about.
Our leaders are psychopaths. Like,
it's just, it frustrates me because all this bickering diverts attention away from the true issues, you know. And we talked a bit about that with Tara as well, because, you know, Tara is still like, Project Veritas is still covering her story. Yes, she sides with James and she's good friends with him. And
there's some nuance there.
There's nuance there. But even James said to her at CPAC, like, by whatever means necessary, continue to get the information out there. And by that, he also means, even if my old organization that I'm no longer with is going to cover the story, yes, you let them cover the story, you talk to them, and you get the information out there, because what matters is the stories. It's not this, you know, these ego battles.
Matt here says that he did some reporting on James back in the day and always knew it would end this way.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to get too much into that and James, because I definitely know some things, but I'll leave it there.
Oh, he's going to tease it. He's going to tease it and
I'll
leave
tease it. I won't.
Oh, look
drop
at
it.
the little ratty.
Oh,
the little ratty.
Yeah, well, we need some levity too, and that's another point
Yeah.
to this. You know, like, this shit is really dark. Maybe we should just once in a while show some freaking cute rats. And
That's
like,
why I thought, you know,
laugh. And
this was Laura's idea to
Yeah.
have a little, like, you know, promotional events for Detrans. I didn't even know until she messaged me that there was a Detrans Awareness Day. So
I feel like I didn't
I'm glad you
hear about it.
Well, if we're doing that, mind if I do a quick promotion then for
oh
our
yeah,
second?
go for it.
do it.
Yeah, so if you guys are in California and are willing to drive to Sacramento, California on Friday the 10th, we will be at the state capitol. Follow Chloe Cole, myself, and/or Detrans Awareness on Twitter, and that's where you can get the most information. I'd recommend Chloe and Detrans Awareness. Don't follow me that much. But we will be speaking. I know for at least confirmed speakers, we have Chloe, myself, Prisha Mosley, Luca Hine. And unfortunately, that's everyone that I know publicly. I know we have some more that are in the hush, but can't really say that. Cool. Please come support us, because unfortunately we did have credible threats on our lives, as we now have Antifa and a group of TRAs, transgender rights activists, coming to harass us. Do not worry. We have both, I believe, Capitol and City Police who are keeping us safe, plus security.
Nice.
And when is that?
March 10th at 1 p.m. Pacific.
Okay. Like in 2
That's
days.
in 2 days. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. And we've been following Chloe's story pretty closely. I invited her on the show like months ago, but never heard back from
She's
her.
busy. It's fine.
She's very. I mean, she's over here talking
She's
to
very
Peter.
busy.
No,
dude.
go
Like-
talk to Jordan Peterson. Go,
I
you
know,
know, testify.
She's
before
very
the
busy.
subcommittee
Look.
meetings.
Sure, but she follows me on Twitter, so I was like, hey, and I reached out to
Fine.
her. But we would definitely.
So I will say this for Chloe: she's a very busy young lady. She gets a million DMs.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
But if you want, have Laura talk to her, and maybe she can pull some strings.
Yeah. I mean, we would definitely.
Yeah, because we are going to be hanging out a lot. We're going to be going to a spa and
Ooh, we're going to a
all
spa.
that good
I've been
stuff.
to a spa.
So-
No invite.
No
Yeah, this will be my
invite.
first time at a spa.
Wow.
So getting a massage, like
Yes,
no,
I didn't.
No
If
men
I
at
did.
the spa. This
They
ain't
separate-
we spa,
They
Abel.
separate the spas by the genders.
This ain't we spa, Abel. What are you trying to do?
Well, they'll be in LA, so technically yes.
we won't be in LA. We'll be in a undisclosed other part of California.
Yes. No.
Cool.
Better
Mexico-
to leave it undisclosed.
Yes, keep it undisclosed.
They don't need to know.
Undisclosed.
Well, like Abel said, there are like actual threats on your
Yeah.
life, and we haven't really had. I've had like little baby threats, on Instagram from people, like nothing serious.
Nobody's threatening me.
Yeah, I mean, you could kind
I
of
feel so left out.
we could consider the attempt at doxing on us by New York City
That was,
Antifa.
I mean, honestly, I was flattered.
it was
like,
flattering, but
Antifa noticed me.
but look,
That's a threat. That's a
it
threat.
is because the point of trying to tell people where or around where you live is they want to incite some sort of
Yes,
violence
that's
against
that's
you. That's the
actual
point.
stochastic
That's
terrorism.
actual stochastic terrorism. Yeah, the shit that they accuse us of. When we don't do that, we're not over here.
No, I don't care. I
looking-
don't care where you live.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't care
not.
what you're
I'm
doing.
not trying to identify
I don't.
you. And
I just don't understand. I honestly don't understand the idea of like coming for someone because you don't like their content. I'm like, it's the cycle of insanity. Like, if you don't like somebody's content, you should like really kind of just, you have your position on it and you move on and you focus on what things that you do.
Yeah.
You are interested.
they actually
in.
Yeah.
gave a free promo.
They
Like
did.
that's what that was. Like,
They let people know we
Yes.
have a podcast.
Yes.
That's what people keep telling me too. Like any, press is good press.
Yeah.
I mean, more clicks to my store. I don't give a shit. Like I
Trump.
have someone,
Worked for Trump.
commented on my designs and they're like, these look like shit or something. And I said like, thanks for supporting my work.
Thanks.
Thanks for the
Appreciate it.
engagement, bro.
Yeah.
Tell all your friends that these look like shit too, please.
Yeah.
No, don't worry. People will always hate or try to drag you down, even if your work is like good. And I think I'm a pretty decent painter. And I've had people tell me the same thing. Like, this looks like shit.
You painting suck.
Your paintings suck. I'm like,
Okay.
okay, let's see what you do, bro. Like,
Don't buy them.
Yeah.
and they don't do anything. They never do anything.
It's like
So-
I'll sell them
Right.
to people that actually
Yeah.
are interested.
No, they're deliberately trying to jab at you to get a reaction.
Yeah.
To get you upset. And you just gotta like laugh at them, meme them,
Yeah, exactly.
Make fun
That
of
really
Meme them
pisses
until
off.
they cry and then make memes about them crying.
Just make fun of them. Yeah, it does work, for the most part, I would say.
This is
Well,
actually
I'm-
one of the. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I'm probably definitely gonna get some backlash once I start making my Jordan Peterson designs. Like I plan to do like the whole Daddy Peterson like
That's
there's gonna Hmm?
Daddy Peterson needs to
Yeah,
be
Daddy
on the
Peterson,
shirt.
exactly, like literally. So if people will not like that,
I'll buy one. I want a Daddy
Yeah.
Peterson shirt.
I'll make like a hyper feminine one,
Okay.
and then I'll make like a mask,
You
a
need a mask
neutral
in
one.
there.
We got a question
Yeah.
from the chat here from Mr. Matt Osborne. Question
Question
for
for
Dan.
Dan.
Have you ever read Iron John by Robert Bly?
I have not. I am going to Google that right now.
Interesting. I have not
I-
heard of that story either. Fascinating.
I do like book
In the
recommendations.
Iron Giant.
Oh, I love that story.
Iron Giant is
I know. I want to rewatch that.
It's such a good moral too.
Let's
It's like
see. Iron
choose, you
John.
choose what you are.
Iron
Yeah.
John, a book about
Great
men.
moral.
Oh, he's an American poet, Robert Bly. It's an exegesis of Iron John, a parable belonging to the Grimm's fairy tales by a German folklorist, Brothers Grimm. We all know the Grimm fairy tales.
Matt said
It's
you'll
about
like it.
about a boy maturing into adulthood with the help of the wild man. Yeah, I've heard of the trope. Interesting. Published in 1990, year I was born, by Addison Wesley. The book is Bly's best known work. He spent
Fabulous.
62 weeks on the New York Times bestseller list. That's impressive. And it became a pioneering work in the mythopoetic men's movement. I love the name of that. The mythopoetic men's movement. It's a body of self-help activities and therapeutic workshops and retreats for men undertaken by various organizations, authors in the U.S. in the 80s and 90s.
Where men in tights.
Interesting. I actually really dig this. I'm going to check that out. Thank you. I appreciate book recommendations.
Have
And,
you
yeah,
guys
I like my masculinity more.
have you seen Jordan's Exodus thing for men?
I've been wanting to watch it, but isn't that it's behind a Daily Wire paywall, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Are you subscribed to Daily Wire just for Peterson?
No, I am
Are
very
you
cheap.
pirating Peterson's work?
I would totally pirate that.
I would pirate it. Yeah. Yeah, I would really like to see that. Yeah, there's so many ads on his videos now.
Yeah,
His Genesis lectures were just so good.
Yeah, I need to finish them.
I want to see the documentary about the Bible and how that inspired literacy on the Daily.
Yeah, I really want to see that too.
Because that's a really interesting take, and it's also that's factually true. I mean, think about it. I mean, that's how impactful that book is, that when the printing press was invented, the first major work that was printed was the Bible, so
Yeah.
it literally is it's intertwined into our cultural literacy and helped spread this need to learn how to read and how to write so people could read the Bible. So
The Daily Wire The Daily Wire should donate all of us a subscription.
Right? Come on.
They really should.
Like I'll review the content on my channel or something. Like
yeah.
Come on.
I try to tag the Daily Wire and stuff like in some of my posts, but I don't think
they just lost Christina Buttons.
Yeah. Oh, you really want to get into that, Brent?
I am not familiar with that drama.
You lost Christina Buttons too.
Oh, she blocked me. Yeah,
because
I basically came to the conclusion that she was disingenuous.
I don't know her enough, but
I eventually got to meet Christina. I like her.
We've met her too.
We met her, yeah. We met her in person.
Mean, she didn't talk very much, but we joked around a bit. Colin talked more.
Colin was fabulous.
Yeah, well, I was talking more to him and to James Lindsay, but she was in the conversation a bit too, and made some jokes with us, but she didn't talk very much, so I can't really say I didn't get much of a feel for her. That's my take on it.
They're married, Jeff.
Is she dating Colin?
FYI.
Yeah, her and Colin are married. Yeah, they were nice, but I don't know.
I thought they were still dating,
and I got good vibes from him, but. Whatever. Again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. All this like
infighting and drama,
energy and infighting, like all this energy spent on the drama when
it was over. She didn't like the way that
Matt
they were
Walsh
talking about Dylan Mulvaney,
but also Michael Knowles.
And Michael Knowles. Okay, well, whatever. So Michael Knowles said, like the trans, like before, in front of a largely conservative audience, he's trying to rile up the base. Basically says we're going to eliminate transgenderism.
No, he used the word
eradicate transgenderism across the board. Just the whole thing.
No, he said from public life.
Okay, whatever. Because he basically wants all of us back in the closet, which fine.
Well, he said transgenderism. He didn't say homosexuality, but they. I know Matt Walsh.
Potato. I mean, honestly, at this point, I'd prefer if we were back in the closet because it was a lot more fun when we were back in the closet. First of all,
I know Basil agrees with that.
And second of all, like, look what being out of the closet has wrought. It has not wrought, utopia, right? We had gay marriage, we have gay children. We don't have. Yeah. They're even against Lady Maga.
Yeah, I saw that backlash as well. A bunch of conservatives on Twitter. I saw some of it, and they were retweeting the post of Lady Maga arriving to CPAC and criticizing like we should let these degenerates in our movement and this and that.
That's just leftist infighting.
It's It's not helpful. Like, I understand people are going to have their views, and no matter if the drag queen is someone like, say, Lady Gaga, who is more conservative,
or if the tranny is somebody like Blair White, who's
who's aligning with a lot of the things that we're fighting for in their own belief system, they're never going to be okay with someone impersonating a woman in any way, whether they're trans or just doing drag and it's a costume that they're wearing. Like, there are people who are always going to find that appalling or disrespectful, etc.
And there's people that are always going to think
Sure.
that butt sex is gross too. Or
Exactly.
if they see two guys
Yes.
kissing, they're going to be like, "Ah!"
Sure,
like,
but I mean, it's not like
that's reality.
we're not doing the butt sex in front of them.
Well,
you know?
some of us are.
Some people are.
Well, so that's the problem, though.
Have you
It's
seen
like,
Brazilian Pride? I mean,
God. Yeah, and wholesome and all that shit. And like, I understand, like, they're tired of it. I get it. I'm tired of it too. I'm tired of seeing it promoted everywhere and rainbows everywhere and this and this and that. When we're just like, we're such a minority of the population. Most people are heterosexual, most. And even people who are like bi-ish are still mostly heterosexual, a lot of them. So it's like, that is the norm, you know. And personally, I think traditional families are great. I want to see more of them. It's possible to be gay and to have some values like that and to still value family, even though I can't have my own traditional family. I'd like to, I can't, you know, it wouldn't work. But it doesn't mean that I don't promote those values and also think they're good. So doesn't that make me kind of on your side in a certain way? Like, it's not like I'm saying, like, you know, abolish all of that, but they're looking at the woke gays and they're lumping all of us in together with them now. And there's more of that happening. I think Jeff posted a comment earlier. I think it was, I missed it. Yeah, I think it was here. He said the right has started to fragment behind this. The anti-gay faction is beginning to rear its ignorant head again. And yeah, you're seeing more of that. But we said this would happen when we first started this show and started talking about these issues, the trans stuff, the drag kids and all these things. We said, look, this is going to create more backlash, and then all of us are going to get lumped in with that backlash, with some of those, you know, people who are, what it's going to do, it's going to make them run more toward their conservatism, right? It's not going to make them more understanding that, hey, there's nuance here. Not all gays think that way. Not, you know, not all people who aren't straight or gender nonconforming think this way and support these things. But at this point, some of them don't care anymore. They're so tired of it that they're going to just lash out at all of us, you know? But we can't control that. There's nothing we can do about it. All we can do is say what we think, you know?
You know what I think? You know what I'd like to see? Like, just more good old fashioned tranny content, like, you know, just drag, like you know, in sketch comedy and stuff. I feel like maybe there's always going to be some people that are offended even by the most, you know, absurdist, campy comedy sketch. But I feel like comedy really helps to normalize or like help people feel more comfortable around gay related things, you know. Like, people, there is still some, like, I mean, on SNL right now, there is Bowen Yang, who I really like. He is a gay performer, and he does very, very gay characters. And it's like, okay, like, I feel like in the past, we used to be able to have sort of, well, it's a love-hate relationship, like, for all the sort of normalization that, you know, and just kind of like, yeah, they can poke fun of themselves. They have a sense of humor about themselves. It's not just all like, you know, it helps reduce fear to see people making fun of themselves. But also, obviously, there was still like the Jerry Springer, not painting the LGBT people in the best light. But, and, you know, people were more so laughing at them than with them. But I think now we see them people taking themselves so seriously that people are now, they're still laughing at them again. You know, they're laughing at these woke, you know, gender people and lumping the gays in with that, because there are a lot of histrionic gays getting involved in that. But if we could go back to more of like, you know, moderate gay, you know, like being able to mock yourself, but still being gay, I feel like that helps people to reduce their panic about it and not see it as such a threat.
Yeah. No, comedy is a powerful tool. It's why like I do still respect Chappelle, even though he got a little weird with the vax mandates and all that stuff. But we'll forgive some of that. But like what he was doing with his comedy specials, the last few that he did was very much, it's like it's breaking the ice. It's showing people like, hey, we can talk about these things and we can laugh at these things. But not just that, it's, I personally think that the trans people and these folks who are so upset about him making jokes about them aren't seeing it in the correct way. If anything, they should see it as a positive thing. Like, wow, you're so integrated into society now that you are also being joked about along with every other identity group and race and all that stuff that was already being joked about. And now here you go. Welcome to the club. Now you get to be made fun of too, like everyone else.
Yeah.
So,
Wait, it was illegal to make fun of transgenders nowadays.
Well, I mean, this is where I agree with Jeff. I mean, have you seen some of these transgenders? Because they
no, it's
they
hilarious.
look like they have a humiliation fetish. They want people to laugh at them or something. It's
them,
bad.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, I don't remember who said it, but there was a transgender on Twitter that said, whenever a comedian makes jokes about transgenders, there should be transgender next to them. So when the audience is laughing, they know what they're laughing at. I'm down for that.
That sounds
I feel
expensive.
like,
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just even this shit, like the whole.
I think it might have been the most prominent one in the UK, though.
Tiresome.
Yeah.
It's just so tiresome.
It's just like don't cut your dick off. Like,
I mean, that's
Hey! I didn't want to cut it off, but doctors want me to cut it off. Okay.
it's good that you didn't. I'm happy for you. You didn't.
and they told you that was a good idea, didn't they?
Yes,
That's
they.
crazy.
Actually, you want to know that part of my story?
Sure.
Yes.
So I was only 11 months into hormones when I saw a medical professional to get my letters of approval for surgery. I only went in for breast implants because it's that constant high you're reaching. And I only wanted the implants. I was thinking eventually getting my face done.
The facial feminization surgery.
Give me 1 second. Yeah, I'll
Basically what Dylan Mulvaney just.
Yeah, the FF. I think it's called
Had done.
FFS, facial feminization
And I know
surgery.
Blair had that.
It's where they
done
shave
as well.
down, like, you see how I have a super orbital ridge. They can like grind that down. They can also do some they can make your jaw less square and more ovular. And they can also grind down your Adam's apple.
No.
Let's see my
Yeah,
Adam's
so no, like I said, so I said I eventually want to get my face done. That I wanted everything done, and here's the thing though, and this is I think what saved my ass from regretting this even worse than I did. So before I actually started seeing a therapist, I told myself I wanted to do 5 years to wait for breast implants and 10 years for bottom, because I had something told me bottom surgery, if I would have done it, would have been more irreversible.
Oh yes. Absolutely.
So obviously I broke the rule on the implants. But during that session,
So you did get the implants.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me see. I'm trying to show. There's a photo of me. If you go on my Twitter account and because I know you can search up things, tweets I've made in the past. If you look up Detrans awareness for last year, I post a photo. So if you want to look that up, that's actually my most prominent photo I've used. But back to my point. So I was only 11 months in when I went to see this medical professional, and he approved me for surgery. Now I had only asked for implants. I didn't ask for anything else. A few weeks later, I get a letter in the mail, not one but two, one for the implants and one for bottom surgery. I didn't even ask for it.
You didn't even ask for that, and they just
Wow.
approved it. What the
Mhm.
hell? That is not.
It's California.
California. Is crazy. What the hell, California? No, it's okay. New York's probably not much better, to be honest.
No, they're not. They're doing a lot of the same thing. It's a lot quieter. There's not a lot of. Oh, I think I found it.
Is it a blue dress?
No, so this
It's
is
a flag in the background. It looks like it's post after your scars are
yeah.
off.
So with this, so you had the implants removed, correct?
Yeah. It's
So I
a
think
medium
this-
blue dress.
I think
Oh,
that
let's see if we can
photo
find
is.
an older one.
I think that photo is after he had them removed because he has scars there.
Yes. This
Yeah.
Is February. Let me go back farther.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen any of your
Well, I'll
transition
send you
photos.
a behind the scene photo, Laura, because there's one that I don't share
Wait,
in
is that the
public
guy who
for
was on-
reasons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different. Oh, you look so good in a suit, Abel.
Oh, you met Lila Hart in person.
Yes. Oh, I talked to her.
Yeah, she's been on the show. We love her.
We
We're
love
gonna,
her
We're
and
gonna
her
have her on
husband.
again. Yeah, we tweet at each other all the time,
She's
and
adorbs.
I crack jokes at her. She cracks jokes at me. No,
Yeah,
Lila's
I-
a very
Li-
sweet person.
Lila.
She's great.
She's my favorite little booty. She's my favorite little booty Filipina.
Little booty Latina.
No.
You're great in a suit.
Wait, dang it.
She's so funny, and she's
I technically copied it off of
Yeah.
Alex Stein.
yeah, little booty Latina.
Yeah. No, she's
She's a little
Filipina.
booty Latina.
Yeah, she's had quite a life, man. Like, yeah, she was a fascinating
Puppies.
guest to have on, and that was an emotional episode too. That was a good one though.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
also.
We're gonna have her on again, and we've had her husband on.
Are
as
you with
well,
Drew?
Eric Ubbin.
Yeah, I was with Drew Hernandez.
Drew's great. I love his work.
I like him. Yeah.
He's been to the border a couple of times.
What is he crossing illegally now?
No, he's been just
crossing illegally,
covering the border.
Yeah.
Does a lot of that. He did a lot of like the riot coverage in 2020.
Yeah, I know. That's how I found him.
Oh, there you're with Lila again. Yeah. She's so cute.
What?
There we go.
Yeah, that's that. I got him hooked. It's a gateway drug.
Bruh,
Jordan Peterson AI art.
so random.
Oh my gosh.
Him and the losses.
I don't know if I'm gonna find it. But this is actually just a lot of fun just scrolling through your pictures.
What's the
Chloe?
date? Yeah,
It's
Chloe
this,
Cole, and the lady to my left is Abigail Martinez. So to give you a little history on her daughter transitioned in California. The state of California transitioned her daughter against her will.
Oh yeah, I know. this.
Kidnapped. Yeah, they kidnapped her daughter from her.
Medically kidnapped her. Yep.
Accused her of abusing her.
Yep.
And eventually, after the daughter being on testosterone for a couple of years, it was too much for her. She unfortunately jumped in front of a train.
Yes, I remember this story. I think Billboard Chris talked about this on our show before
Yeah.
as well.
Danny.
He's
The
he's
dark
another
side
good
of the
one.
D-trans or the transitional medicine.
Yeah, Chris is great.
Life-saving, gender-affirming care.
Well,
ladies and gentlemen.
If you look at the dark side, which is the truth, you have kids that are actually dying. Abigail's daughter. You have Chloe, myself, Laura, Prisha, everyone who's been harmed.
Yeah.
But we're
Chloe
liars,
was a minor.
grifters. But
It was a minor, and they're like, "That's not happening." Yes, it
you,
is.
you know what? Let me see if I can find.
I'll never forget that video though of like Billboard Chris confronting the woke dude on the street, and he's giving him the facts, and the woke dude's literally just like, "Nope, that's not happening." And he's like, he's like, Chloe Cole's right across the street.
Oh,
You
that
wanna
was
talk
at
to her?"
that event.
Yeah, he was like, Chloe Cole's right across the street. You want to talk to her? He was like, no. It's like, okay, so which is it? Like, you're saying it's not happening. I have someone right across the street who was a minor and was trans, and you can go talk to them yourself. And now you don't want to talk to them. Then eventually he admits it is happening, but like it's fine. It's like
Yeah.
weirdos.
Let me see if I'm gonna look it up on my end. Let me see. Okay, so I've gotten a couple of new followers. Which one are you guys for followers?
Dan Delafay. That's me.
Okay, perfect. I found.
I've been following you for a while, so
Yeah, I just followed you today. I didn't know your account.
you can message it to Dan. He'll message it to me.
Yeah. Let me see. I'll just look it up on my account. Search.
And Abel, I do need to find you a tie. See, because he has these great suits, but I'm like, dude, you need a tie. Like, you need like a funky tie with that. So
Ties are
I have to
sounds
look one
comfortable.
up.
They are, but Laura will have a funky one.
They
it'll
look cool,
amazing.
but I don't know.
The ties, I own some really, really interesting ties. I have an Austin Powers tie that I got from Goodwill.
Why is Isabella the homophobe showing up in the following recommendations?
Yeah.
I don't know that she's been like. I think it's because I talk shit. I don't know. I talk shit on her post, and so now
Yeah, so did I. So that's probably why.
maybe it's like because I don't follow her though. I mean,
yeah, I'm not even gonna touch that. Honestly, I just don't care. Again, I don't care about the drama. I mean,
Jeff loves your shirt, Laura.
it is.
Oh, thank you.
Quirky. I like the Native American patterns on it.
Yeah, I just picked this up. It's like a shawl thing. I'm like, this it's very bohemian. Really like that. I'm becoming very
Bohemian. You've always been
Bohemian.
bohemian.
I'm becoming more bohemian.
More bohemian.
More and more. And also apparently like very 90s old lady. Like some of my outfits, people are like, you look like a teacher from the 90s. And yeah, because I have my chunky beads and chunky sweaters on, and yeah.
It's all good.
It's all good. But yeah, this is my Detrans Awareness Day shirt that I did for this year.
Oh, it's cute.
From Blizzard.
The design I had on the front of the thumbnail.
Very nice.
Yeah, the same thing. And Abel's wearing one of my hats.
Oh, yeah. Detrans Awareness, I like it.
Yes, so I'm making buttons now, pins, magnets, shirts, hats, beanies, stickers, prints, art prints. That's all in my Etsy store, Funk God. And the link to that is on my Twitter. And I'm also
people
doing like holographic stickers now, because most of my designs are like very funky and very like trippy, psychedelic, surreal. And then I just have like, this sort of stuff for certain occasions, certain protest occasions. I have a protest flag that I designed for Sidewalk Steve.
Yeah, I've been to events with him before.
Yeah, he requested a flag. So that's a big banner-like flag that you can kind of hold up at protests. Yep, this is my store. So I have a whole Detrans awareness collection, and then I have my other normal Funk God stuff. Got some rat stuff. I have a lot more shit, but this has only been open for a month. So it's going to take some time to get all that in there.
You know what I should do is we should have like the DR friends and family promo section in the descriptions, and I'll just drop everybody's Etsy store or their merch at the bottom.
Yeah, because there's a lot of artists and people that have come on the show, right?
Well, we've had, well, I mean, generally people that come on have something to promote. We have a couple artists. George Alexopoulos, he's doing, he has an Etsy store, and they're doing his new family featured little kids book called like Goofberry Pie, which is just a wholesome tale.
We love George.
George is great. He is the most based,
he's a sweetheart too.
Cartoon slinger.
We hung out with him before, and he's just a very down to earth, humble, genuine dude, and he's just funny. he's
gonna be a based dad one day.
We need more of those.
We do. We need based dads to make based babies.
I thought he was.
You know what I should do? I should write a children's book about rats.
That would be cute.
I think it'd be cute. Maybe the one exists already, but like the rat market exists.
You just have to.
But it's not. It's not. But
I'm almost done finding it. I'm sorry, it's taking forever. I tweet too.
Take your time. It's all good. I was gonna say there's plenty of room there's always room for another children's book, especially in this market. Especially if you're looking for something based that's going to be, a wholesome message.
Yeah, maybe I'll try to sneak in like a political, philosophical message in the rat book.
Keep it simple for your first one.
Yeah.
Something cute like family, or the way boys fight, or something you can do with rats easily.
the ways boys fight.
Yeah, like boys like fighting and making up, and or like the boy. I don't know. You could like do boy rats and girl rats, and just like run through gender typical behaviors for the boy rats and the girl rats, and just
There is gender typical. There's sex typical behavior. The males are much more lazy and cuddly. That's why I got males, because they just. I mean, obviously they are quite active. Creatures in general, but the males are much lazier. The girls are actually the ones that will like run on the wheels, and they're very smart, and they have a lot more energy than the males typically, and they're always they chew more, and they just have more energy. They're a little more neurotic. And then the males are much bigger, and they mark a lot, and they have big balls, but they're very snuggly.
That's what you mean. They pee on things?
Yeah. Yeah, so that is the downside.
The little squirters.
But I'm used to it. I mean, but yeah. Ideally, I wouldn't have my bedroom also be the rat room. It's like not the sexiest thing, like the rat urination part of it. But
you can't bring a man home to that condition.
Well,
unless you find a man.
I advertise it right up front. Like, I'm calling myself a crazy rat lady. You're gonna get a freak in the bedroom, but there are gonna be rats right next to the bed. Like,
you're gonna have
and
to
it
find
might be somewhat of an odor. So that's
very specific, man.
Hey, what if I'm into that, Laura?
Friendly, where do I?
That's it. We've talked about this before. I was like, they better be at least a little into it, because otherwise,
like in the world. Do you
I
mean?
think he means in Twitter.
I guess he means in Twitter. I'm at Dan Delafaye.
Hold on, I'll post links.
DANDELAFE.
I didn't put them in the chat. This was a little.
And yours is a little weirder, so.
That's because this is like my third account.
Yeah, but it's hard to like spell Copopolis.
That's me, and Dan is like at Dan Delafaye.
Yeah, that's also my Instagram. The same handle.
Yeah, I'm Copopolis. Also, my backup is _Brentley. I do It's Brentley in places. That was the name of my original YouTube channel before YouTube nuked me. I called Joe Biden a sexual predator, and that was the end. In the title of the video too.
oh wow.
Yeah, they were not happy. They were not happy with that one. Also, the most popular, like the highest viewed video on the channel was like a 42-second clip that I took from Joe Biden doing swearing-in ceremonies in like 2010 or 11 or something. And this little tiny girl, he has his hand on her shoulder, and then it slowly slips down onto her chest, and then she nudges him and like kind of like breaks out. But that was the most. I had like something like 20,000 views on that one video.
Yeah, I think I've seen that.
They didn't like that. They were not.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, well, this is our pedophile president, but I shouldn't say so much because YouTube is listening and they don't like you to talk about it. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I think eventually in the future, I'm going to move all of our streams to Rumble. It's more complicated to do that way because Rumble has this thing where you have to like upload a short video preview. So I have to make like a generic sort of introduction video that I can just fling when we want to do a stream, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. So we're on YouTube again. Hi.
Yeah.
Just yet.
No, they haven't.
If you guys want to put my Twitter in there,
because you're shadow banned right now.
Yeah.
I am shadow banned. You could link to it.
Artist.
And throw angels in there.
But if you just search Funk God artist on, I don't know how I feel about this. I mean, you just search Funk God artist on Google and like my most recent tweets come up, and I just did that. I like searched myself the other day. I was like, oh, like
there we go. I found it. Took
and then
forever.
Official Able.
Copy.
Yeah, I want to see the dress.
You can send it to me on Twitter, Abel, or you can send it to Daniel.
I'll send it to Daniel. Hold on.
I am at Capopolis.
There we go.
I made some based Russell Brand AI art today and
Oh,
posted
yeah?
it. Yeah.
So we're
He's
able
a
with
funk
kids.
god. He's a funk god.
He's totally a fun guy.
Here, let me.
Do you see him ripping up the MSNBC hosts? Like,
Yeah, Bill Maher. Yeah.
he's so funny.
I sent you the.
I love him.
Okay. Yeah, this is Lady Abel.
Oh, Matt already. Oh, yeah, Matt. The name does look familiar. Yeah, he saw the rats trying to get into the closet.
Oh my gosh, Lady Abel!
Yeah, so I
Oh my
I
gosh.
have seen this picture before.
Girl, you passed.
I've definitely seen you online. Like I remember you did do, like you said, you were on Drew Hernandez.
Yeah, I've
and
been
stuff
following
like
Abel
that.
for a while.
I was also on Slightly Offensive with Elijah Schaefer.
Okay.
That's where I came out publicly first.
that I think.
Wow.
So did you still look like this when you first?
I got a
When you
little
first started
fatter
speaking?
because of depression.
It happens. Not for me.
Laura,
My problem. The opposite problem.
Laura, you know how some people would say, jokingly, they'll say they would fuck someone. Look at my own photo. I would.
Yeah. I mean,
I
definitely-
cannot say that on Twitter, unfortunately.
I mean, I'll admit, like, there may be some like autoandrophilic. It's definitely not anywhere near my main interest, but for me, there might be like I just really wanted a beard. Like even now I do like Snapchat filters and stuff. I'm just like I do like almost exclusively male characters that have mustaches and beards, and I just like embody it. It's like I love beards.
They are
So
cool.
Maybe you
Yeah.
were a dude in your most recent past life.
yeah, so I was definitely a faggot.
Well, I unfortunately have to head out, guys. It's
No,
getting
it's fine. We should wrap it
We
up.
do too. It's been about.
I gotta go eat dinner.
Over 2 hours. We gotta eat something.
We
get
did
to
we did
bed.
self promo. Thank you, Jeff and Matt and everyone for hanging out in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
chat with us.
We appreciate that seriously.
While we promote
and Ralph
the
and
second annual Detrans Day of Awareness.
and Russell, although he left early, but we
Do you
appreciate.
guys want to, once we're off air, you guys want to see some photos that aren't released publicly?
Oh my.
Oh
okay.
yeah, the exclusive content.
Well, we gotta go, girl. So I'll
Exclusive
see you guys
content.
later. Thank you again.
Yeah,
Don't
thanks
forget
for
to like,
watching.
subscribe,
Guys.
comment,
I got
share with your friends.
And also, we have a new episode out with Tara Rodas, which I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, go watch that.
Please go watch that. Very important conversation. Seriously, like
Very important.
And then tomorrow we're going to be speaking with Aaron Stevenson about the same sort of topic from a different angle. So stay tuned for that, episode 106.
We love you. Stay safe. Stay sane.
Later, everyone.
Bye bye.